George of the jungle, strong as he can be.
Okay, so here we are back again for part 3 of how to boost the amount of property that you can qualify for. And this time we're going to be talking about going to maybe another 50, 75%, or even more of what you can qualify if you're looking at a single family residence. So obviously the corollary to that is 3 or 4 unit properties, triplexes, and fourplexes. So let's just talk a little bit about what changes, because a couple of things change when we go from a duplex to that 3rd and 4th unit. And those changes are briefly right here. So the loan to value on conventional, on a duplex, single family residence, you can go as little as 3% down. Go to duplex, 15% down. 3 and 4 unit properties, it is 20% down, with the one exception being that Freddie Mac has what's called a home possible program, and you can do a triplex or a fourplex with 15% down. I'm not going to get into the details on what the home possible program is, but there is a little carve out there that would let you do it for less. FHA remains at 3.5% down. VA is still 0 down. 0 down on a fourplex, pretty awesome deal. Now the one thing that I had a note to mention and I didn't mention on the prior video is that VA, whether it's 2, 3, or 4 unit property, they want to see that you have demonstrated some prior landlord experience. And it's a little bit opaque on exactly what that experience is, but I think that somebody that maybe even has had a roommate and can demonstrate collecting rent, even living there, that preferably if you show it on your tax return, it'd be great. But I think that you could document that the same way that you do for the Home Ready program and the Home Possible program to count rent from a roommate. My personal opinion is that I think the VA would accept that. So the next part of this is, what are the rents? What percentage of the rents can we count? And if you remember, prior to COVID, if you were collecting $1,600 a month in rent, you could count 80% of that and add that to your income. And what does that end up being? $960, or I'm sorry, it adds another 160 bucks to it, so $1,360 or something like that. On this, it's 75% across the board. I don't know if that is a temporary adjustment, if it's going to come back. Personally, I think it's a little bit silly, because it implies that vacancy rates, maintenance is more expensive. The one thing that could be affecting that is, some of these moratoriums on rent, where landlords can't collect rent and stuff like that. So I think the 75%, as long as some of these legislative carve-outs are in here. Anyway, this is where we're at today. And then I put down here this other little category here. This is called a self-sufficiency test, which is something that is unique to FHA loans. So the answer here is yes. We require one here, we do not. And I'm going to do just a quick little blurb on a part 4 video, and I'm going to talk about what this self-sufficiency test is for triplexes and fourplexes for FHA only. But the rents here, so if we got somebody that's collecting $1,600 a month in rent per unit, 75% of that is $1,200. So somebody who is making $5,800 a month, okay, this is our 70K, and I know it's 58, 33, repeating, whatever, I'm just rounding it up. We actually get to add that $1,200 for each unit. So unit number 1 on a triplex, unit number 2 on a triplex. Now we're adding, and we have not $7,000 of income, but actually $8,200 worth of income. So on a triplex, we are now looking at not qualifying for $500,000, but we can actually move that up to about $600,000. So triplex, forget my little comma there, about $600,000 on a triplex. And what we're doing here is that I am using a housing expense ratio that somebody who's got better than average credit, we're going to count about a 40% housing expense ratio, that they don't have a lot of other debts. So we can count 40% of that. That adds that it's about $480 per month more on the mortgage that they can qualify for. And just being real conservative on estimates with rates and mortgage insurance, if we have it, depending on what type of loan it is, it's going to increase each unit that you add onto there is going to allow you to qualify for about $100,000 more. So again, here's rental unit number 1, number 2. Third unit, if we're looking at a fourplex, we are adding $3,600 of income to this household income here of $5,800. So that's $9,400 per month of income. So on a fourplex, that's going to get you to $700,000. Now, these numbers are very conservative, and everybody's situation is going to change on this, but what you're looking at here, though, is we're talking about getting, on a triplex, we're talking about increasing your purchasing power 50% on a triplex, and on a fourplex, we're increasing your purchasing power by 70% or more. So just something to look at. You know, there's a lot of, I've got a builder friend of mine that builds duplexes and fourplexes. He hasn't done a 3-unit property yet, but some of these, the way that they're designed, I mean, they're gorgeous. I mean, the one that's a duplex, you would not even know from the outside looking at it that it's a duplex, the way that it's designed. And on the fourplex and a lot of these, the common walls are the garages. So you don't even share living space. You don't have like master bedroom next to their living room or kitchen or whatever. You've actually got the garages that are the common walls between them. So for people that have been living in an apartment building or a town home, or living underneath your parents or next to your parents or whatever the situation may be, these are a step up. These are a step up, and depending on where you are, you know, these price ranges may be a little bit modest. I'm just trying to be realistic. But anyway, just something for people to consider if they're considering owner-occupying one of the units and then renting out the remaining units and increasing the amount that you can qualify for. So hopefully this is some helpful information for people who are thinking about this, getting started. Great way to start building a real estate portfolio with investment properties. So thanks for coming into thecreditjungle.com today. My name is George Anderson. Remember, you can push button, get mortgage professional, and I'd love to talk with you about your situation. Have a great day.